up, y'all? It's your girl Shakira 2 times.
And I'm Liana.
And this is our 2 cents. Okay.
Clink! And then it goes into an intro video. Mm-hmm. That would be so cute.
No, seriously. We'll get that together. Sponsored by Lovers and Friends. Like, we might have everything we need.
Honestly.
With the love background. We could make something. So if we were like real, because like we got some Canva riz, but if we were real like videographers,
I know,
girl, and yeah. But anyway,
maybe one day we'll connect the right people.
Yes.
But oh my goodness, you guys, we just got done watching the 6th episode of that release, and I have so many thoughts. I'm so glad we watched it together too.
Yeah, that was a vibe.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say. Like, I almost wish there was wine in this glass because I wish there was tea.
I could use it.
There was tea because we will be spilling it. Okay?
There was plenty tea spilled in this last episode. Man, oh my goodness,
so
it did get juicy. Like, what we're gonna start with is hearing what the streets are saying.
Yes, so let's
pull up some things.
Yes, we're gonna get into trend check, where we check and see what the people are saying online, what they think about it, and then we'll go from there. And feel free, every episode, please, to send us your thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, villains, heroes, whatever you think about the show, send it our way, so we can cover it in trend check. But basically, the streets are not liking Love is Blind Season 8.
They're not liking it. They're saying it's boring. And you did shed some good light. I didn't watch the previous season. So in comparison to previous seasons, it's giving slow.
Yes, it's giving, Snooze by SZA.
Yes, I did fall asleep watching it last night, but that's because I was tired. So, but I don't know. I think there's some good stuff that we're getting into, and I think a villain has arisen a little bit. And that leads us into this first tweet that you have here. It says, so Madison started out, and I was like, do I have a girl crush? And now I'm like, oh no, girl, you're definitely the villain. And I stamped this as approval.
I absolutely approve this message.
Yes.
I don't like her. It went from she's a vibe, she has she had me blushing to you need to probably head back to therapy and work it out.
Absolutely. And one of our mutual friends was like, why is this girl trauma dumping on the first date? And it's like, that's so real. And like, yes, they are on Love is Blind and you need to be opening up and being vulnerable. But I, like, as the episode started to unfold, I started to see like how she was using her like situation or her emotions to manipulate the men, and I started to peep it. I'm like, don't like that. I'm getting a bad vibe from her.
Yes, as a woman who also has a lot of trauma to dump, you can tell when sometimes people who have been through a lot make their trauma their personality, and unfortunately, I think that's her. And that's when some tea was being spilled, some light was being shed. We were both like, some parts of her I saw and I could resonate with because I've been in situations where I struggled to like hold myself accountable because I've been through so much and you have a chip on your shoulder. So when you are wrong, sometimes it's hard to admit it, and that's her to a T. It's like, it's not a good look. And yeah, she's very manipulative, and free these boys. I feel bad for them.
Honestly. And if you already saw, then you know the outcome of this, but we will dive into that deep because I want to dive into that love triangle even further than we did on the last one because more stuff has unfolded.
Yes.
So Chloe Gunn said, did AI edit this season of Love is Blind? No chance that a human decided we want 6 pod episodes. And I disagree. Because we got to see so much more of the conversations that they're having and how things are unfolding and what they're telling to different people and see how the connections they're building, like, with one person versus another person. Like, we really got to see an inside scoop of that. Maybe did they need 6 of them? Maybe not 6, but I liked how much time we got to see in the pods. We also got to see some of the drama unfold in the, like, what areas? Community areas?
Yeah, the community areas. So I do hear what you're saying, but I think we just live in such a generation. And this show has built up a reputation at this point.
True.
It hasn't been wholesome, in my opinion, since season 2. Like, there have been villains left and right the last few years. So folks are like, they want to be on the edge of their seat, pulling their hair. They want to be so infuriated with these people that they're writing hate mail. And everyone is very much giving Minnesota nice this season. Everyone is very much cookie cutter for the most part. And so I still think it's entertaining. I still think it's good TV, but they've set a reputation for themselves, and I think us diehard fans are a little sleepy.
I haven't seen much about it besides like a few people in Minnesota. So yeah, I don't think it's getting as much as a reach. So we'll see. Sassy and Neurospicy said, Love is Blind Season 8, does it actually get better? Because I'm only on episode 2 and I've already knocked out twice. This is ridiculous. Do I push through or just cut my losses now?
Yikes. And that has 53 comments under it, and I glanced at the comments. They agree, unfortunately. This next person, I actually know her. Shout out to Style by Shirley. She said that this season of Love is Blind is a major snooze and it feels like a chore to watch it. I get what you're saying, sister girl, because it has felt like a bit of a chore for me too, but that's because we literally have to watch it and then talk about it for our show.
24 hours.
Right. Yeah. So I hear what you're saying. I wasn't like on the edge of my seat, like, let's go. Netflix didn't ask me if I was still watching. If they did, I was asleep. I missed that part. So I get what you're saying, but I don't think it's terrible. It's just last season was insane.
I will say I am having a hard time understanding if I'm invested because of what we're doing and it's because it's here. Because honestly, probably I wouldn't watch it if it wasn't Minneapolis. So that's how I feel right now. But there is some drama. Like, I am invested enough to enjoy what I'm watching.
Yes, and I want to just also remind you all that she's truly invested. She has some ties, just planting the seed, so that when we do reveal what they are, you won't be super shocked.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, some personal things going on there.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get into these last 3 episodes.
So season 4, or episode 4. So this was like, you were really starting to see the couples.
Yes.
Like, solidify each other. People were calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend. Were they doing that in previous episodes or seasons?
Yes, but not as often.
Because that was like the first time I saw that, where it was like intentional to be like, you're my boyfriend, that's my girlfriend.
Yeah, I've seen it, but not this much. Not this much.
Okay, I feel like that's like going to be the new norm now. So people were starting to like really
Minnesota setting the tone.
You know us.
We did something right.
Secretly, we do that. We do it in a subtle way. We're just not in your face about it, you know?
But we set the tone. We are the culture. No, I'm just kidding. Not working.
I was like, just took it too far.
Never mind.
Couple notches out.
Yeah, so let me. But yes, I like that. I think that overall, and I didn't share this when we were watching, but I would say for the most part, I think there are more genuine guys than there might be genuine girls.
Ooh, speak more on that.
So I hope y'all are caught up. Don't watch this until you are. But I think that we talked already about our villain, Madison. But that's her name, right?
Madison. Yes.
Yes, our villain, her. She played 2 men like a fiddle, and now one guy's going to go home alone and he got double dumped, which we'll get into that more. So then, so that's an issue. And then we have Britt. While I love her, I love that she's a full-figured black woman, but I don't think she would have shared the fact that she was interested in women if Devin wouldn't have told his ibuprofen addiction story, which we'll get into that too. And I also think, like, there's a double standard. If you're talking to a man for however long, weeks, whatever, you're getting to know each other, you know their family history, you know all these things about them, you're literally, you imagine a life with them, you think they're going to propose. And he randomly is like, oh, yeah, just so you know, I can't see myself marrying a man, but my last relationship was with one, and I've dated several. And then when you ask, like, so are you bi? Well, I think everyone's, no, are you bi? Well, I'm monogamous, so it doesn't matter. Like, that was weird. I think that she had him messed up. And I know for a fact that if a man would have done that, he would have been drugged through the mud. So I'm all for people expressing their sexuality, and I think that it's important, and I'm glad that she did, but I think she should have led with that instead of, telling him literally probably the date before he was going to propose. Like, he had this whole synopsis, like, I like both women, but I really click with her. And then, she kind of, I don't want to say she let him down, but she kind of just, threw him off guard with that. So
I do, but it's like, also then, devil's advocate. Yeah. When do you tell?
I think
when
early.
Do you share that?
I think, like, second, I also want to say, again, I don't think she would have shared if he wouldn't have told her about his little Advil addiction.
Right. That part.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because then she was like, I feel like I can tell you almost everything. Like,
so apparently it was 20.
Who?
20 Advils.
Look, if I'm not going to take the time to pick out 20 pills. I'm going to do my big one. And, or like depressed or want to numb the pain. And he was still playing basketball.
Yeah.
So how long were you on the sidelines taking all those pills? You didn't swallow them all at once. It wasn't 20 ibuprofen. It was one big one. Maybe 2 big ones. But, like, come on. Let's be super for real.
He said he would wake up and do it to start the day. Can you imagine taking, 20? That would take forever. Every day?
How much water did he keep in his...
Like, I don't even think you can do that. They say on the bottle not to take more than, 8.
Well, he said, though, he kind of, alluded to the fact that he was depressed. He was questioning if he wanted to be here. So
yeah.
He made it seem like maybe it was a suicide. Like, I don't want to use the word... I know that's a strong word, but he was saying, he didn't value his life. He was sad.
Questioning the value, yeah.
So I don't want to make light of that. I just think... I say this all to say I think his story has some holes in it. Just like his hairline. I think he's full of shit a little bit. I think he's full of shit a little bit. And I'm going to leave it at that. Okay?
I'm so conflicted. Because obviously I've shared now that there's some connections there.
Yes.
And I do think, I could be wrong, but I do think there's some genuineness in him. I do, like, how I have seen him, he is, like, a kind person. Okay. He is genuine, and it seems like he does want to find somebody to spend his life with. It all seems right.
Okay.
But the story, I don't know, it seemed rehearsed. Mm-hmm. It seemed scripted. And it's your story, and I believe it's the truth. Like, I believe there's truth to what he said. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like the timing of it, and like the time that he cried, something about that was like performative, and I don't want to say that because I do think those emotions were real. I'm sure he felt sad. I'm sure he felt deeply about that time, and it was a very hard thing, and it's emotional to talk about for sure, but years have passed, and you're past that point. I've heard that story. Now, 2 women on the screen has heard this story word by word in the order that you told it. It just seemed very rehearsed, and I don't mean this anything against you if you see this. I'm so sorry, but like, it's giving.
And again, this is an Our 2 Cents exclusive. She's heard the story.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you said that on purpose, but she said it. She's heard the story herself, and she's So things are being questioned, but anyway. So I say all that to say, Britt, I think she's a little bit of a villain. Madison for sure is a villain, and then the most recent development, if Jack, aka Daniel, is not a creepy, weird stalker who found her on Instagram and unfollowed her, she's insane. If she's making this up because he gives her the ick, because he looks like Jack, she is wrong. And I have a feeling that she's making it up or has him mixed up with somebody else. I just think when she accused him of that, he just seemed way too cool, calm, and collected.
He was and it wasn't like he was caught off guard, because if I am in his position, I just got engaged, saw this person for the first time, and he is telling me that I followed him on Instagram before and unfollowed him, so like I know his profile, and he thinks I'm intentionally saying certain things to like get him to like me. I'm gonna be like, what? I'm gonna be defensive.
Shocked, stunned.
He was like,
so do you think that... what do you think?
Chucky. Well, it's hard, because I mean, I've followed people on Instagram and then unfollowed them if they don't follow me back, because I'm not, that's weird to me. Like,
but
I've
you
done
don't
that
harp
before.
on it. You don't remember, like, about things about them and their face and, like, the details of them.
But that's my thing. It's, okay, this is where I'm getting confused, because it's like, she's upset about him manipulating, like, knowing her and manipulating it. Yes. How would he have known and put that together, that who she was at the time? You can't see each other.
Unless he thinks that she is, like, unless she thinks that he's, like, truly an insane stalker. Like his intention of the show, he had no idea she was going to be in the show, but once he saw that it was her, he locked in and remembered all that. But yeah, it's not like
he didn't see her.
That's true. But like her name, you can't really
and her voice, you don't know.
You can't really plot on that. That's not a premeditated thing.
And for her to like him back in the same way.
Yeah. That's not a premeditated. It'd be different if on her bio it was like, I'm going to be on Love is Blind season 8, but
they don't know.
Yeah,
that's
true.
That's why.
So basically, you have the ick, and you're looking for reasons to end it without looking like a villain.
But she sold it. Like, me and Shakira were sitting here watching their body language, like analyzing it to the T. Like, okay, she smiled at him. She's looking at his lip. She's looking at his receding hairline. Like, we were looking at everything, and it was like, I bought it. I don't know. I know I'm gullible in some senses, but
what did I say? You started to warm me over, but the first few minutes I was like, she does not like him.
You did. She did.
She's icked out. She doesn't like him.
But that's because you were icked out.
Well,
he looked like
if I'm icked out and she's icked out and you're icked out and he's icked out, let's be honest, he's been saying from day one, like, I'm 5'8", like, no reason I should know this man's dimensions. I know, like, we get it, you're 5'8", like, so I think that he's also insecure and kind of led with that, which is not a good look either.
And he was giddy when he saw her. He was like,
literally like, all 32 teeth. Big serial killer vibes. Yeah, so I don't know. I think that, I'm not too fond of the women this season. I feel like they're a little shady.
I know.
And I started off, like, our first episode, I was, like, team women. I loved all the girls. All the guys gave me the ick. And now I feel bad for some of the guys.
And I do have to, like, we kind of shared this, that, like, looking at some of these women and their experiences, like, I see myself in a lot of these scenarios.
Unfortunately,
so it's giving myself the ick about myself as well. And
accountability tour.
I'm like, I don't know what to do with these feelings. Because I mean, yeah, but I don't think they're doing anything wrong. I just think that's the problem in dating right now. This is like, we're seeing it real time.
Yeah.
Like, there'll be genuine men and some men that aren't genuine, as we can see. And, like, everyone is just falling for the tactics, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
And I think a lot of times as women, we do find ourselves being in the victim role because men, a lot of women are very loyal and, like, good people. And when they're locked in, like, they're not the one that's mistreating the man, you know?
So true.
So I think that when women are in the wrong, we have a really hard time accepting it and admitting it. And that's what we're seeing in real time. Like, there are times when women were called out respectfully, very respectfully by the men, and they freaked the fuck out, like, Karen'd out, like, crashed out.
For real.
Like, oh my gosh, me? And yeah, like, you are capable of being wrong too. You are capable of being dishonest, being manipulative, and that's coming out on the big screen. And now I'm gonna call my therapist after this.
Book a double.
Yes, not a double.
One thing I really want to dive into more now is the Alex, Madison, and Mason triangle, because a lot of more tea unfolded in this episode that we didn't have access to in the first few. And it's that, like, we already knew that Madison and Alex had vibe with each other, and Mason and Meg were vibing with each other, but Mason liked Madison more. Basically, Mason told Madison, "You're my number one. You're the person I want." Madison wasn't going, and she was, like, being a bitch to him in that moment.
She was being very mean because she had just seen Meg giggling about him. And that must have really made her feel away because she literally defecated on him. Like, she belittled it. Like, you're cool, but you don't make me feel how the other guy feels. Like, she was very mean to him, for sure.
But she was, like, giving him this... But she would get, like, sexual with him and flirty with him in some regard. But she just knew, like, I have him by the... I felt it was, like, I have him around my finger. I'm too cool for this. But I do think the Meg reaction played a role in that.
Yeah.
But... she already had Alex as her number one anyways, though.
Allegedly.
And she was... I felt like she was only entertaining it because Alex was giving her pushback. Like, you are a avoidant.
Yep.
And I'm anxious.
And she was she just liked the idea that two guys wanted her. She didn't want to feel like a loser.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, she definitely, I think... You know, you're right. I think she did feel like she could, she could do whatever she wanted with him. But I think also it was her own insecurities projecting, so she had to make it seem like, no, I'm the catch, I'm this, I'm that, because in that, she felt small. She kept saying, like, oh, how Meg feels doesn't bother me. Yes, it does. You're bothered. You're just not showing it. But you're obviously bothered by it. And you're taking it out on him, which is insane. So...
And she would make comments, like, before all of the, like, the commitment topics came up. Like, Meg would come back from the date and be so giddy, so excited because she really liked Mason. Like, it was so sad. We'll get into that in a second. Yeah. But she would come back to the pod so excited, and then Madison would be like, oh, I'm just not like that. I'm not going to be, like, rubbing it in everyone's faces. That's not exactly what she said, but that's what she's saying. And I was basically. Like... Actually, you did when you got a boyfriend. You're like, I have a boyfriend. I'm getting married. You literally did that. You just didn't like that a girl had your second.
Exactly. She was a hater. And that's fine, but it did not end well for her. Can we dive into that?
Let's, please.
Yes.
So then Mason tries to do a little back pedal.
Yep.
Skirt. And was like, actually, I like Meg most because he heard that Alex and Madison were dating.
So low-key... Mason did the same thing Madison did. They might be a match made in heaven. Because they both backpedaled trying to save face.
Yep.
And they both ended up with, but we can get into that.
So true. And this is one thing that, like, we were talking about. So, for me, like, for Madison, say, Alex is the healthy person that she should be with.
Right.
Mason, I still think he's healthy-ish, but he's like the not as healthy version of the two for her. And she is like attached to the good one, but she's looking at the bad one, and then it was too late. She messed up the things with the bad one or the good one.
Yep. That's real. So, and then now they just had that weird, awkward conversation, and we don't think that they're going to be together now.
So,
well, she's leaving, right? Isn't that her that's leaving?
Madison or?
No, who's the lady who's leaving? Because her and the guy got into it because he was, like, blaming... She was like, stand up for me. Like, you're taking his side.
Yes. Okay, yeah, let's talk about
so much happened. Oh, my gosh.
No, so much happened.
Yes, and I'm bad with names, so that's why I'm having you steer these conversations, because I'm like...
So we're talking about the scene after everything hit the fan, basically, and I'm pretty sure... They almost got... Did he get down on one knee and get in...
He was going to, but she could not get over the fact that he just simply said, I feel bad for... Mason?
Basically, Alex felt bad that Mason, like, had Madison as his number one, and Madison and him had already been dating. And so he got broken up with. He got double dumped. The double dump.
Yeah, the double dump.
And Madison was wanting Alex to be on her side and be like, yeah, he's so messed up for doing, because basically he took back saying that he loved her or something.
Right, yep.
And she's like, I don't like how that made me feel. And he's like, well, this is like a weird situation we're all in. It's going to happen.
Being neutral. He didn't go out of his way to like over validate her, but he wasn't shitting on her or taking his side either. He was just being neutral, saying like, it sucks for everyone. I feel bad for everyone. And that fucked her up. Like, that ruined her day.
Yep.
Like, she couldn't even, I think he was going to propose, but he was like getting into it, like trying to have a deep conversation with her. And she's like, I'm sorry, I can't.
And she shut down,
Completely.
doing exactly what they argued about like
what
a couple episodes ago.
Yep. And then she was like, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Like, so that's crazy.
Exactly what she said she was going to do, she did. And exactly what he was scared of is exactly what played out.
So he dodged a bullet. Yeah, but I feel bad. I feel bad for him. Like, she has some more self-work that she probably needs to do.
I agree. And I can relate to her. I will say this because she has been through a lot. No doubt in my mind. She carries that with her. And that's never going to change. She needs someone who's going to accept that and be there for her and make space for that.
For sure.
However, you cannot you can't put that on other people.
Yes, and you cannot make that your personality, and that cannot be your crutch for why you're a shitty person. That's not how that works. You have to grow and you have to do better. So, we'd love to have you on an episode, though, Madison, since you're gone now. Call us.
I think she would definitely... She'd have some words.
No,
She'd have some words for us.
Yeah.
And then Mason goes to Meg, basically saying, I fucked up, please take me back. Like, please, I don't know what I did. Like, and she's like, and I loved her for this. She's like, did you have these feelings before or after this all came out? Like, she called him on his bullshit, and she basically did it in such a nice way, though.
Yeah, respectfully. She's very emotionally mature, which is why I continue to say she gives older than 31.
That's not why you said it.
For sure.
For
sure, she looks older than 31, but she also just so emotionally mature. Yeah. And I love how she, like, told him about himself, read him, but, like, in the most respectful way.
Yeah, she's like, this is what you were supposed to do. I don't like it, but I understand. Like, don't apologize, but, my feelings are hurt.
Yeah,
and I was like, good.
And we're not getting married. And continue to be like, can't believe we're leaving. Like,
yeah,
I love that for her.
So
like,
nonchalant.
She, like, she's a real one. I don't know if that was, like, intentional, like the classiest, most respectful way to make somebody feel like shit, or if she just really didn't give a fuck.
As a Libra, that's what we do.
It was calculated.
She's hurting.
Yeah.
She's sad. She went home, but she had to save face and like leave it on a harmonious note.
Yeah, and she did that. She did great, I love her. I stan her. She's my favorite.
Look at this.
And she was
our first impressions were so off.
She still looks old. But besides that, she's my favorite. I still stand by that.
Aww.
But she's my favorite. I love her.
Well, and she lives in St. Paul.
Period.
Yeah.
So let's get into some of these other couples. We saw a ton of people meet, and become officially engaged. We talked a little bit about Devin. I know you had a lot of choice words about his mate, Virginia. I'll
just say it since I don't want you to have to be the one who throws all the shade. But I just said, like, when they were hugging, and she's gorgeous. I think she's stunning, but it just looked like she was hugging her son.
And I simply said, how could that be her son when he's balding? Like, to me, if you're going to say she looks old, they look old together. I do get what she has an older spirit. Like,
it's the way she talks, it's her mannerisms, it's her she gives older, and it's probably because she's classy.
Yeah, no, isn't that a damn shame?
That's just not me. Like, she's classy and she gives like sophisticated and mature. Okay. And so when she hugged him, it just looked Gabe like, come here, son. Like, I don't know, but how they like embraced each other was very maternal. But I do think that she likes him though. Like, I think she is interested in him, and like she seemed really nervous when she met him, and like
they were. So genuine. I've never seen him like he could not even put the ring on her finger. They were shaking it up.
It was sweet. I mean, I hope they work out, and I know now in the intro they talk about a prenup, so I cannot wait.
They do those two.
Yeah.
Who has money amongst them?
I'm guessing her. She's in healthcare.
Oh, okay. Period. As she should.
Yeah, and he was like, "Why do you need a prenup?" Like, what are your thoughts on that?
You know, that's a good question. I always say to each its own. I think that if you're in it for love, I really, truly don't think you should care if there's a prenup or not.
Yeah.
If you're...
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Yes, if you're in it, if you truly love the person and you trust that their intentions are pure, you should not care. However, these people are strangers. Like, they don't know each other that well.
That's true.
And we are still questioning everyone's intentions until we see them walk down the aisle. So it would probably make me feel uncomfortable, like, what's the why behind it? But all a prenup means is that you're protecting yourself and your assets. It's not like you're taking my money. You know what I mean? So
you are for a prenup?
Yeah, I'm not against it.
I am for it only for the sense that, like, I plan to have my own businesses. And, like, when you get married, it's a legal contract. We like to think of it about love. That's what we get into it for, but it's a business contract.
It is.
So
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
And if you're offended, get your money up. Then you can have a prenup too.
Exactly. Why are you what's the issue? And the prenups can be customized to your own needs.
Yes, I will say though, I guess putting myself in a man's shoes, it can be demasculating. I guess if you men, like the way women are insecure about our looks, men are insecure about their money.
Yeah.
And if you're in a relationship with a woman who is more successful than you financially, it might feel funny or feel uncomfortable, knowing that she wants a prenup because she wants to protect her assets. Like, it's giving, damn, does she think I'm broke? So I could see how, as a man, that might, ruffle some feathers.
I can see that too. And, I mean, his profession is youth development and coaching. Like, at the stage that he's at currently right now, he's not grossing that much money compared to her. Right. So I understand that.
Yeah, not you went on a date with a bum. I'm just kidding.
You pay for it.
Period. Hey, Devin. Hi, but Devin. Yeah, no, I think that they're a cute couple. I'm excited to see how the honeymoon goes. Me too. I think that they will last. I don't have any, really too many big things. Unless we find out that the ibuprofen addiction was something else. Otherwise, I think they'll be fine.
And she did handle that very well.
She did. I think both girls did, though. I think Britt handled it better, actually. I really liked how... before the fact that she came out of the closet afterwards. But I'm just saying, she handled it... Initially, she handled it really well.
See, I'm so conflicted about it, because do you think she was just trying to, here's something else that's really big? Because that's the first time he told that.
Yeah, but...
Is he supposed to be I was an addict, the second conversation?
Well, if it's really ibuprofen, if that's really what it is, I don't think that's as big of a deal as my last relationship was with a woman. I think that's a little bit deeper, personally.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And you think
this was in high school? He was 18?
Out of high school. So it was
a decade ago, though?
It grew through college.
Okay. See, he definitely made it seem like he was a fresh spring chicken.
And that's my questioning of the crying. Be in touch with your emotions. I don't care. Cry.
Right.
But it wasn't yesterday.
Right.
That just happened. True. So that's why I'm just and it happened on cue each time he told it. And I bet you when he told the interview and the producers, that's exactly how it went. This. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, let's talk about some other couples. I don't know names, so got it.
What one was it? It was
Sarah and
Ben. That was so cute. They have a really good physical chemistry, and he was very happy with how she looked. She looked very happy with how he looked.
I'm not worried about them.
They were natural, but David and Lauren, they were a little awkward, and they had just gone through that another threesome scandal.
No, literally, there's so many. Yeah. Okay, so 5 couples are engaged.
The first one is Joey and Monica, and then it was...
David and Lauren.
I don't know if they were next, but then Devin and Virginia.
Sam. Sorry, Sarah
and... Sarah and Ben.
And then Daniel and...
I guess they did Daniel and Lauren. No, what's her name?
I see what y'all are saying. It's not memorable. No, I'm just kidding. We definitely should have started off saying the engaged couples too, but I do not know. I couldn't tell you their names. What did Kiki Palmer say? I don't know this man.
Taylor. That was her name.
Okay, Taylor and Daniel. Okay, so 5 engaged. So I'm blanking on who Lauren
was the one in the brown dress, and it was between her and Molly.
Got it. Okay, what'd you think of them meeting and seeing each other?
I thought they were awkward, but obviously, the first time meeting each other, it seemed like they were both attracted to each other. Mm-hmm. I think he is attracted to her. She looks like a perfect wife for him.
Yeah.
In the most respectful way. But she, I think, looks insecure if he thinks she's attractive.
Yes, she's second guessing it. And I think it's just because he had an awkward demeanor. And I was telling her, I think a lot of times with this experiment, we've seen women get in their heads so much because the guys switch up. But I think they just switch up because they're awkward because it's their first time seeing them, and they might not be communicating that correctly, and the women think it's them, and then it causes the relationship to go south because the women are constantly second guessing themselves, and the men are I'm just trying to get used to this. There's nothing wrong with you. Mm-hmm. So I think that this will be one of those, but I could be wrong.
And I think she also went into that moment with the fact that they just got out of a place where he had to choose her over another girl. So you're already in a comparison mindset.
Yep.
And just so many things are going through her head. So I think it could just be they were nervous because they obviously have a really strong connection. And I think that can grow. I think they're both like, they think they're attractive, but we'll see. It looks like in the previews, like they continue to be physical with each other.
Yes. And yes, let's get into the previews. A lot of tea was spilled with that too for the next group of episodes.
I cannot wait.
I am ready. I don't care what, like, y'all might be right. You might be onto something when you say the first 6 episodes were a little boring, but it's about to get juicy. I can just tell.
Because they're all coming together.
Exactly. So, what are some things that stuck out to you about the trailer, and what are you looking forward to most?
I think what stuck out was Joey and Monica. Like, the clip that they did, like, they're very goofy already. We already saw that from the first episode, but we haven't got to see them interact much. And they still just look goofy and not very, like, romantic, touchy-feely. Yeah, but not every couple's like that. And they're goofy, so maybe that's how they are.
And maybe that works for them, you know? They're maybe going to have to, like, bump their heads a few times before they get into the romantic groove. But I just don't see Joey being romantic. Yeah. Speaking of Joey, they showed all the clips, right, leading up to the altar. There was no dry shampoo, no wet shampoo. He couldn't put his hair up in a tie. Like, you couldn't do anything to your hair.
That would have been the perfect moment for a man bun.
That would have, yeah. I would have immediately walked off when that hurt my feelings that he didn't try. His hair looked better in the pods, which is crazy. What stands out to me is when Devin meets Britt. And Virginia looks worried and concerned, and they both approach each other on their masculine energy. She told Devin, like, you real gorgeous. I'm like, period, sis.
She said, I've never said that to a man before.
Have you?
No.
Like, the way she said it, like, you're gorgeous. And she said, you're looking gorgeous. Like, what, sir? Not sir. I did not mean to say sir. But yeah, so her energy is very much strap on. But it seemed like they had a good connection, so I'm nervous for our little Miss Lady Virginia.
They did. I think this is just editing. I think they tried to make it look like Devin was second guessing himself. I don't think he did. I think Devin is locked in on Virginia because I do think Devin at the end of the day, looks wise, would go for somebody like Virginia. So that's what I think with that. But we'll see. Yeah. We'll see what rolls out. But then they said something. This could just be messy editing too because maybe it is boring. But they made it seem like somebody else hooked up with each other. Did they not?
Yes, they did. But maybe they just had to do that because people are yawning. But
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, like, they made it seem like they hooked up very fast too. So I'm interested to see.
Because then the 30-year-old comment thing, like, that was such a blip. He was not even like that.
No,
so
at all.
Stretching.
He's one of my
favorites.
Maybe
stretching.
Yeah, so we'll see. Another thing is, like, if you've painted yourself as a villain, there's nothing worse you could do than show up with purple hair. Like, she's solidified the fact that she's a villain. Like, you're that girl.
Energy.
Energy. You're that girl for sure in a bad way. So it'll be interesting to see how she interacts with everyone.
Who do you think she'll go with after seeing Alex and seeing Mason? Like, do you think... Because they're all going to get brought together. I cannot wait.
And they're all single, right? Because nobody's...
Yeah, the other people who got sent home early, they all come back too. Yeah.
Okay.
And then they're with the couples as well.
I don't know. Who do you think?
I think look-wise, she's going to like Mason.
Yeah, Mason's cute.
I'm interested to see what David and Molly, because that's the other triangle with Lauren, see what he thinks about Molly. Because Molly is like, she's like the hot dancer, Timberwolves dancer. And that's probably like the type he's normally gone for. And they had like that connection. So I can't wait for that one.
It's going to be juicy.
We'll take better notes, like very specific ones,
like
so
episode
we can
by
dive
episode.
In.
And also, like, if y'all know, if you have any insights, like, if you like were watching the trailer and like you realize like, oh my gosh, that's the restaurant I work at or something, like, let us know the tidbits because we would love to be completely in the know when we deep dive for sure. But yeah, this season I think it's gonna get a lot juicier. I'm really excited for. Is it next week?
It is Friday. More episodes drop, so you guys can tune in again next Sunday because we're gonna watch them, record our reactions, and then give y'all the tea.
Yes, and I think I'm gonna come up with another question on social media, so definitely feel free to chime in. But yeah, I'm excited. I think that things are gonna get juicier, and I think that 5 couples engaged is like really good. Last time I checked, that hasn't been a thing in a while. So
I want to know also, on top of this, I want to know if anyone knows any tea about, like, Vanessa or any of the people that they were still showing towards the end that we did not get to see at all.
the milk dud, God bless him.
There's some tea happening, because that happened on other seasons where people went to the altar. They were at the altar and they just completely cut their storyline. Yes.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I think it was the Colorado one. So if y'all know what happened, because I've seen Vanessa and I was waiting to see her in the pods, and so they didn't show her at all. It's suspicious.
Yeah, or maybe she got shot. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, we don't know, but we'll see. So,
okay, my last question for you is, out of the 5 couples engaged, so let's go over them again just so that we're all on the same page. Devin and Virginia.
Joey and Monica.
Sarah and Daniel.
It's not Daniel, is it? It's Ben.
What? Sarah
and Ben.
Who the fuck is Ben?
Oh, Ben is the Libra man with the big smile.
Okay, Sarah and Ben.
David and Lauren. And Taylor and Daniel.
Yes, out of those 5, who do you think is going to, like, not even just make it to the altar, but who can you see being in a relationship, married, ending up together?
That's a good question. I honestly go with Joey and Monica. Like, I haven't seen them be kissy yet, but they also got, like, engaged super
very
early.
Quick. And they've got, like, that friendship element.
Yes, and I think that will take you so far in a marriage. Mm-hmm. So I think them.
Yeah, I think I'd go with them, too. But I also have some faith in Devin and Virginia. Mm-hmm. So
my last 2, you can do a second too. Ben and Sarah, because I think Sarah helps Ben grow, and Ben is loving enough, like the kind of like guy I think Sarah deserves.
Mm-hmm. I'm still kind of icked out. Ben is the one who was like, I don't know, it's none of my business about Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. Still icked out by him, to be honest with you. But I have faith in them, but I don't see them up that high. I guess I would say. I don't even remember these people's names, but next I would say not the couple who accused the man of being a stalker. So who does that leave? Lauren and David.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, they look like they're married already. Like they look like a married couple from Minnesota to me.
Yes, they do. So we'll see what happens.
We will.
All right. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.